Hello, in whatever land you are, YouTube land or Hollywood land or Cannes, the world. This is the PodBrother. I am live on YouTube with Julie Pifher, filmmaker extraordinaire. How are you, love?
Good. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. I mean, I met you in Cannes when you were interning at the American Pavilion like a decade ago. I don't know how long ago that was, but it was a while ago. And now you turned out to be like this hot Hollywood filmmaker. You got a film in the can and distribute it on Hulu. I mean, look at you. You're doing your thing.
Yeah, it's been fun. I had so much fun when I met you that year in Cannes. Since then, I've actually gone probably like 4 or 5 times. I love Cannes.
I know. I think I saw you a couple of those times because I've been 11 times, and I think I met you like in the middle of all that. I'm not
Oh
sure.
my God.
But so let's go back. Let's take Julie back to the first the first time you thought you were inspired to be a filmmaker as a little girl or as a teen or as a college student. When did you first realize you wanted to make film?
That's a good question. I always wrote short stories and funny stories just for fun, and I got into photography and theater in high school. But I think my first glimpse into the world of TV and movies was when I went on a field trip to a local. I guess it's called like public access station.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. So I totally had my own public access show when I was like 16 years old. And we did about 4 episodes, and we were just like highlighting stuff around the city, me and my girlfriend. And the local Fox 6 News caught wind of us and did a big piece on us. And like we got fan mail and hate mail. And it was like, whoa, this is like awesome.
Well, you know you're doing something right when you get hate mail.
That's what I said.
You
I
know
was
you're
like,
strumming
okay.
some nerves. You got somebody being like, "Hey, wait a minute, she's ruffling the feathers. She's shaking the bushes a little bit. I feel uncomfortable."
Exactly. So that was my first big success, I suppose.
It's eight
Nice,
o'clock.
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, and then I went to film school in Scottsdale, and then I went to USC film school here in California, and that was amazing, awesome. Best experience ever.
Sweet. And the how did the internship in Cannes come about? Was that something that was on a bulletin board at school, or did you like just research it on your own? How did you end up doing an internship at the Cannes Film Festival? And what year?
Yeah,
What year was that?
that was 2006. That was my last year of film school. Yeah, I think I saw it somewhere at school, probably probably on a bulletin board, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's amazing." And so I did that. And while I was there, I also enrolled into a filmmaking competition where a group of kids and I made a short documentary, and we won first place. We won like all this Adobe software and, a couple $1,000 and so while I was there, I had that experience, and then I just met so many cool people such as yourself, and it was just such an amazing time.
Yeah, I remember that like it was yesterday. It was so much fun. I was producing the Cannes 24-hour film challenge then, and we had like a bunch of teams sign up and make a film in 24 hours, which was cool. And I
Yeah,
think
it's
that's why you couldn't do our thing because you were doing your Adobe contest, which was at the same time. So
Yeah, exactly. Well, and what's funny about Cannes to me now too is I also go there for the TV market. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but twice a year they do MIP and MIPCOM,
yep.
which is it's like the film festival but for TV.
Hmm.
So I've actually been doing that a lot more than the film festival recently.
Yeah, that's something I've actually been wanting to go to because I'm on the list of all of the notices and invitations for all that. I just haven't had a chance to pull it together to get to one of those, but I definitely, especially with this new PodBrother live YouTube series, I think this falls right down into like a web TV series kind of scenario. So probably the next one
Definitely.
I'll go. So if you're there, I'll look you up. Maybe we can divide and conquer.
Definitely.
Tell me a little bit about your internship. Was that you know was that a good experience? Was it something that you know like what's the pros and cons of it? Is something that you would recommend film students to do, or is there a better way to get to Cannes? What now that you know you've done the internship?
Yes,
Is
yes,
is
actually.
is there like okay, yeah, go for it because you get this and this, or no, you're better off going on your own and teaming up with some people? Like, give me your insight because I've never done it. I don't
Right.
really know what the scoop is. I just suck it up and grabbed a passport and collected some cans and just went. So
Yeah.
tell me, give me some insight. You got some film students out there that want to know if they should do the internship or should they just jump in a microbus and, can or bust.
Yeah, the internship I did was it was for the American Pavilion. So the internship I did was for the American Pavilion, but I don't know if they still do it, to be honest, because that was a few years ago. But some of the experience I had after that were maybe a little more advantageous for networking and getting my films out there. So the Short Film Corner is such a great platform for emerging filmmakers. You don't have to be a student, but if you are, that's great too. And I think that it costs only I want to say like $100, $200 to submit your film to the film corner. And when and if and when you're accepted, you get, I think, two badges to the market. So that's such a great way to go. It's really cost effective, and then your film is available for people to see. Sometimes then you can also do some extra legwork to get it seen in the Palais. So twice I was able to screen two short documentaries that I directed and produced in the Palais through different kind of programs. One was with Real Ideas. They did kind of like a screening program with a micro grant, so they gave me some money even to make my short film. Um, and then, the other year, one year I just had it in the film corner, and that was great too. So I think that the short film corner is really the quickest, most direct route to get your film there, to get there with a badge, and just from there, just go. But that's for real filmmakers who want to, hit the ground running and meet people. When I was at the internship, one girl there just wanted to go and see the movies. And so everybody, has different reasons, I guess, for wanting to go. But I think the true independent filmmaker would benefit by submitting to the short film corner.
That's nice. That sounds like, a very dedicated, hardcore filmmaker's approach. Did you get a chance to do the red carpet? I know when I was there, I was on the red carpet as often as I could, and that was a major highlight for me, especially when I found out I was on like international TV going up the red carpet with like, some cute hot actresses and with the black kilt and I was
Yes.
kind of a can buzz, if you will, a an urban legend,
Yes.
black kilt films. You hear about a brother with a black kilt, but you don't see one too often on the red carpet. Tell me about your experience. Did you get a chance to get on the red carpet? And tell me what that was
I
about.
I did, yeah. The first year that I was there, I did, and I believe it was for the Da Vinci Code. I got to walk the red carpet for the Da Vinci Code, which was super cool. And then in previous years, I did one for, I want to say, The Tree of Life with Brad Pitt, because I actually got to see Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie like on the red carpet, and they just like they looked amazing. Like she glows. Like it's crazy to see her so close in her red carpet attire. So yes, I've got to do the red carpets, but to be totally honest, my favorite thing is the yacht parties.
Oh
I don't
man,
know, I love yacht parties,
I
and you
I
can
know
bump
what you
into the
mean.
craziest celebrities there,
Yeah,
and it's always free flowing drinks, and you just get to meet really cool and interesting people. So, the red carpet is super, super cool, but the yacht parties are just as awesome.
Did you get a chance to make out with a celebrity on a yacht party? Because
Oh my gosh.
you don't have to say
You
who,
know,
but you're cute. I know there was some if you were on some yacht parties, because I was on a yacht party and I got to make out with a celebrity, and I swore never to talk about it ever again, and I'm kind of honoring that. But I'm sure because there's a sense of protection on the yacht, and when you're on it, it's kind of like this assumption that you're somebody and you're supposed to be here, and everybody's kind of relaxed. The non-celebrities and the celebrities. It's like, okay, you're here for a reason, so you must be cool. So let's go make out.
yeah, well, I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you. I
I
don't want
lived a
to
good
wind up
life, so you could. I'm ready to
completely.
go. I'm ready to go tomorrow.
Yeah, and I'm trying to keep my entire career out of Us Weekly.
Right, I hear you. I hear you. So now you are in the you're in the chapter of actually making film. You are a successful filmmaker, and you have actually finished a film, completed a film, had it distributed, and it's now distributed in the marketplace. You are on Hulu with your film, which we're about to talk about, Burning Man and the Meaning of Life. Um, First of all, tell us a little bit about what Burning Man even is so that we can understand the film and why you did a doc on it. So, for those of you who have no idea what Burning Man is, it's not like Facebook where you have a challenge and some idiot sets himself on fire and is running through the front yard as a burning man. It's not anything like like that. Tell us a little bit about what is Burning Man about?
Yeah, so every year, 60,000 people go to the middle of the desert in Nevada, and they basically build a temporary city. And, the city has everything like mail, post service, DWP, public works. It's got a newspaper, it's got a radio station, census. It's legit and it's huge. And people really bring such awesome art installations, epic sculptures, and interactive kind of pieces that so you'll literally be, walking through the middle of the desert, and all of a sudden you'll stumble upon the most amazing things. You'll stumble upon a movie theater in the middle of the desert with nothing surrounding it. Like, it's really a magical place. For really creative expression and outlet. I think that, it's been going on for a while, so people are saying it might be getting commercialized and this and that. But I think that the essence of the festival is really fascinating because, again, these people go here, they build this epic, amazing city, and then in a week, they burn it all down and leave literally without a trace. So they even use electromagnetic like magnets to make sure that there is not one piece of garbage when they leave. And I thought that was so symbolic of life in general. And I also loved that there's a gifting community. So there is ice and coffee for sale, but other than that, everything else is a gifting economy. It's like, you can literally be walking down this, desert road and thinking, God, I'm really thirsty. I wish I had some beer. And somebody will be like, hey, are you thirsty? Do you want some beer? Like, it's just like such a magical place like that. It's really incredible.
Nice.
And I strongly suggest everybody should go at least once. It is hardcore camping. You have to be self-reliant, bring water and food and what you need to survive.
Can you just roll up and just hey, I want to go in, or like is there a cover tickets? How do you
Yeah,
you
you
know
have to have
how
a
do you
ticket.
even get it? How do you even get in? Is it a
Yeah,
secret handshake or a code or chest bump?
the ticket thing is, huge. You have to have a ticket, and it's becoming increasingly, difficult. And maybe that's where it's getting commercialized, where it's getting a little more expensive. It's getting to where probably people are scalping the tickets. But you definitely need a ticket. You can just show up though with nothing if you have something sorted ahead of time. And it's actually, that's also becoming a thing where celebrities and people with a lot of money are starting to show up, and people are like kind of don't know how to feel about that. They've been pouring their heart and soul into preparing for it all year, and then other people are just showing up, you know. But yeah, you got to get a ticket. Then you have to prepare and get a survival guide and all that. And I suggest taking an RV unless you're like a hardcore camper.
You know,
It takes some preparation.
that's old school hardcore camping. I kind of hung up that badge in Boy Scouts. I'm more RV, roll up a RV, and I got my amenities on the inside. I get just sit and chill, get out the dust or whatever. That's
Shower. Showering is nice. I like to shower.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's how I would roll. I would roll just for the showers for the cute girls like you, because I'd be like, "Hey, you want a shower? I got one."
Exactly. And then you'll have a line of naked girls waiting for you.
Oh, snap! Where do I order my ticket?
Yeah, seriously.
Speaking of naked girls, because there's always a theme going, and the theme right now is the meaning of life. The first question I have for you is, because the name of your film is Burning Man and the Meaning of Life. Were you able to find the meaning of life in making this film?
Yes, I do feel like, and that's a big statement. Have I found the meaning of life? But yeah, there's so much meaning in life and in the festival. And what's so cool about the festival is that, it is so symbolic and representative of the kind of phases of life. You come, you're born, you experience, you live, you love, you lose, and then you leave. And, what is the meaning? I mean, I don't know. Should I spoil the film for you?
No,
I think you have to watch the film to find out.
yeah, no, don't spoil it for us. I mean, we definitely want to, we want to watch it for those of you who haven't seen it. I mean, I've seen bits and pieces of it. I have to sit down and watch the whole thing all the way through, but it's fascinating. I've been wanting to go to Burning Man for the past 10 years, no, actually 20 years since I was in New York. But, it lands on a weekend, Labor Day weekend, right? The 2 weeks of,
Yes.
and I've always had like a comedy gig, or I had something going on, or some holiday thing. And, you have to make a serious commitment. It's 2 weekends too.
Yeah, I think it's like 10 days total. So, but I'm telling you, it's next level. It was on my bucket list, and I think it should be on yours. And you can find the meaning of life there.
Well, it's on my bucket list for sure. And I'm definitely gonna, try to make that happen. The actual like structure on the screen right now. What's that? I mean, first of all, it looks pretty big. And
The man is huge.
how did this even? What's the story behind even like coming to the desert, making a man to burn? I know this
Right.
other spiritual stuff kind of came along with it, and the freedom and the expression and the community. But walk me through like how did this even? The first guy came out with like a mannequin and set it on fire. Like what's the history?
Yeah, it started with a small group. I believe in LA, like in the local beaches, and they went down to the beach and they built this really little man made of wood, and burnt it as kind of like maybe like even a joke of like, oh, we're gonna start our own ritual and this and this and this, and then they just started doing it every year, and it started growing and growing and growing. And it started with like 10 people, though, of like, we're going to do this, we're going to release our whatever, and fucking do it. And then they've been doing it ever since. And the more people caught wind of it, the more they wanted to be a part of it.
Wow, interesting. And then it turned into like this whole, major like event now. 60,000 people out there.
It's, I mean, I think of it as, as a subculture or a counterculture or, a cultural kind of revolution. I mean, it kind of goes in with the, festival crowd anyway, with like Coachella and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like our Woodstock.
That happens every year.
Exactly, because it should happen every year. And a lot of people actually, they say that they live the rest of the year that. You know, people really, once they experience it, they call it home. They say, I'm coming home. And they literally, they put up with the rest of life in order to like get to that next year. Which I mean is an extreme, but it's pretty cool.
What was the inspiration for putting these two topics together, Burning Man and the meaning of life? Because there's two major, cliches there. So what inspired you to fuse them together to, you know, make this film?
Yeah, well, I thought that, obviously the symbolism of the event kind of spoke to the microcosm of life, and I thought that that was really interesting. And then I also just thought, these people that do this, people spend tons of money to go there, to build their camps, to build their art, and then they take it down, they burn it, why? Why do they do that? Well, why do we do really kind of anything in life? And then basically the main idea then came from, I want to know what these people think about the meaning of life, because there's so many, fascinating characters there. And then to take it a step further, what we did is we built a photo booth, essentially. It was a video booth, a soundproof video booth, with a motion censored camera. And so, again, you could be walking through the middle of the desert, and then you stumble upon this video booth. And you walk in and you can just record, kind of like a confessional, what the meaning of life is to you. So a large part of the film is those kind of confessional booth moments, where people were able just to, be free to say whatever they want. And they were definitely felt free to do whatever they wanted to do. People had sex in that booth.
Oh,
People, oh yeah, people were, doing other things. Some people were crying, some people were, just laughing and having a good time. And so I think that it was a hit.
it sounds like it was a serious hit. Well,
Yeah.
it sounds like there was a line to get in the booth so that you could figure out what the meaning of life is. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
oh man, I think I would park my RV with the shower next to the meaning of life booth. I think I'd be in heaven.
There'll be two lines of naked pretty girls.
Nice. It's a revolving of two lines, shower to the meaning of life booth, and just back and forth. And I'm somewhere in the
I
middle.
love
We have a trailer on YouTube here. I'd like to play the trailer to kind of show people what it is that you did. So
Awesome.
you won't be able to see it because you're obviously FaceTiming me on your phone. So let me see if I can get this to work. Basically, all right. All right, so stand by, Julie. I'm going to play your film, and then I'll come back to you.
Awesome.
Every year, tens of thousands of people come to the middle of the desert to create a temporary city of epic proportions. They build magnificent structures, art installations, and vehicles that test the boundaries of form and function. And when the week is over, they burn it all down. And leave without a trace. Why? Why do humans do any of the things we do? We create lives, symbols, city-states, relationships, experiences. What is the meaning of life?
Meaning of life. Well, people think we came from monkeys. I beg to differ.
I
Where do
don't
you think we came
know.
from?
Came from a mama's vagina.
Sex is a big part of the meaning of life. We're all aliens.
And life is what you make it.
The restrictions that we have when we're outside this place, they suffocate you.
You suffocate you so hard. Come here for 1 week and celebrate the meaning of living.
One thing I'm going to tell you is that now is all you have.
Honestly, it's just a huge fucking party in the desert.
Burning Man and the Meaning of Life.
Cool. That was very cool. Let's
Thanks.
see, try to get you back here. That was awesome.
Thanks.
Have you two smoking a reefer?
So it looked like it was a serious party in the desert for sure. I mean, it looked like a lot of fun.
Well, what I always think now about Burning Man is like whatever you're looking for, you will find. So if you're looking to party, oh yeah, you can definitely find a party.
Now, did you go a couple years to kind of, research the gig, or or did you just hear about it and just take a shot at making the film, right out the box, or
Yeah, it's funny because when we filmed, it was my first year ever going, and a lot of people were like, "Really? You're doing such a big project, your first time going?" And I was like, "That's just how I am. I go big, go home, kind of thing." But what I had done actually in the development of it is I made a short film just about the meaning of life to kind of see if it could come together in a kind of cohesive way. And that short film actually did go to the short film corner in Cannes, and I was able to use that to raise the money to make the feature.
Nice. So there was a little bit of a progression in how you got the film done. And
Yeah.
how long did you say it take you to make it? Give me like over the course of how many years?
I want to say about 2 years total, from, kind of concept all the way to delivery and distribution, about 2 years.
Nice. And what new project do you have in the pipeline now that you can talk about or vaguely talk about?
Well, I'm the director of development for Workaholic Productions. We specialize in factual entertainment, which is like documentary, science, historical, as well as kind of reality or unscripted, which I actually hate calling it that because I write scripts every day. But we do a lot of kind of the cable network stuff. And so this year we were lucky to sell several concepts to a couple of different cable networks, and we're in internal development on those, doing presentation pilots. So hopefully in 2015 you'll be able to see a couple of new television series from me.
And your role is director, producer. What's your
Yeah, so
involvement, and what what does the development entail?
Yeah, as director of development, I create new concepts. I find the casting when applicable or talent attached, and I develop the concept all the way from a seed of an idea to this is what it's going to be. I create, then I direct and produce the pitch materials, which is like sizzle reels, presentation pilots. So I direct and produce those. I edit. I edit our casting behind-the-scene reels, and I basically just kind of executive produce and oversee the whole thing. So it's
Nice.
fun. And then I pitch the ideas to the networks also. So I'm in those pitch meetings, which I love pitch meetings. I think they're so fun.
So, do you have any, any tips on how to get projects greenlit? And, you have any strategies for somebody out there with a concept and they're doing what you're doing and they want to get something greenlit? Do you have any ideas on how to make that happen?
Yeah, definitely. I think that this day and age, tape is so important. If you have a concept, or you say, "Oh, I know this great, person that should have their own show," you have to have tape. It's the medium we're playing in is visual. So you have to kind of do that proof of concept or that sizzle reel to kind of show people rather than tell people, especially when you're starting out. So I think that that's really super important. And then if you're trying to kind of go it alone, it's probably best to partner with a show running production company that has credits under their belt already. So if you're starting out, it's good to get a manager who can help get those established production companies. But if it's also somebody that just has a lot of ideas, I really think that development is a career path that a lot of people don't necessarily think of. But as the director of development, I'm writing, I'm directing, I'm producing, I'm pitching, and that's kind of all the skills that people want to be using and don't necessarily always know how. So I think development is a career path too.
Does that get in the way of your relationship, your love life? How are you able to tie everything to, how are you able to find balance? You sound like you're very, very busy. And are you in a relationship? Are you single? Like, how are you making that balance?
Yeah, it's funny. Today is actually my 1 year anniversary with my current boyfriend.
Happy anniversary, 1 year.
Yeah, shout out to my boo.
Right on.
But it's really tough to balance a lot of times. I'm working definitely overtime, traveling with productions. But I think in life, balance is always key. And my secret is I do a 20-minute meditation at least once a day. And I find that 20 minutes of silence inside really helps me manage the rest of my day, where I don't feel stressed very often, even when the shit is hitting the fan. I can really prioritize and tackle everything immediately and take it off the to-do list and move on. And without that, I don't think that I would be as sharp and fluid as I am.
Well, I'm glad you could take 30 minutes out of your time and chat with the PodBrother about your career and what's going on with you. And in closing, can you tell us, is there a website we can go to keep track of you, and where can we go to see the film? How can we follow you? How can we keep in touch with you?
Yeah, Burning Man and the Meaning of Life is available for free on Hulu.com. It's also available for streaming on Amazon and iTunes. It's on iTunes in the US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, and the UK. And you can follow me at jpifeproductions.com. That's JPIF productions.com. And we have, Twitter and Facebook under those handles. So stay tuned. There's more to come.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. And we're going to sign up. I would love to have you back on the show again, and we can, talk about some more film industry stuff and some celebrities and red carpets and what you're doing. And
I'd love that.
Maybe we can do a live podcast when you're on a production, from your trailer or something, and, maybe even give us a few film tips. On the Lot.
Definitely.
On the Lot film tips from Julie Pifher.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. Let's definitely do it.
All right. Well, thank you very much, boys and girls. Julie Pifher, the director, writer, filmmaker for The Meaning of Life. And I am the PodBrother. Thanks for tuning in. This has been another PodBrother live YouTube experience. And thanks for watching, whoever's out there watching, the 2 or 3 of you. If not, doesn't matter. It's going to go up in archive and you can see it whenever you want to see it. So thank you very much. You can stay in touch with me at thepodbrother.com, or you can go to stickwiththepodbrother.com, either way. And you need to stick with the PodBrother. Before we go, Julie, can you just say, look into your phone and say, stick with the PodBrother?
Stick with the PodBrother.
Awesome. We love Julie. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Thank
you, Julie.
Thank you. This is so much fun. Let's definitely do it again.
You got it.
Okay. Have a good night.
And we are